I started properly when I was around 3, training, but it really turned serious around 6, 7 when I started fighting and stuff, because before obviously I was only doing training with my dad.
Yeah.
And then we seen, you know, them open tournaments you can enter. We seen them when I was around 6.
And was that Thai boxing or kickboxing?
That was Thai boxing, but I kind of only had a K1 style. So it was so I just fought K1 in a Thai fight.
Do you remember those fights at all?
I do remember them well, because I was stopping a lot of kids, because I was doing football a little bit, and it was like a leg kick's like a volley, so I was just volleying people's legs constantly, and I was getting stoppages that way. But there was a lot of people very technical, and I was just a fighter. And then I realised after a little while, my dad was like, you're a bit more of a K1 fighter than a Thai fighter. So we switched to K1, and ever since that day I've loved it. Everyone wants to fight, and I like that.
So you prefer the K1 rules then?
Yeah, a lot more than the Thai boxing side of things.
Is it because of the work rate and aggression?
Yeah.
Because Thai boxing is a bit more chilled, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very chilled, laid back. It don't really switch on till the later rounds. And I like K1 because everyone just wants to fight.
Yeah.
And there's like
shorter rounds, more explosive.
Yeah, I love that about this sport.
So, do you remember at which point in your life you started to take the sport a lot more serious in terms of your training and actually start to think, I want to have a goal in this sport and I want to get somewhere?
Yeah, straight after lockdown.
Straight
after lockdown. I was in, well, obviously all gyms was closed. I only really was training now and then when I could. And I feel like that motivated me a little bit more, because I thought there's a lot of kids sitting back now and they're not really putting in the work. And the ones that are putting in the work are going to be big. So I was thinking, I'm going to make that level. And I kept working, and I was straight after lockdown, fought Freddie Fisher, one of my training partners now. And then after that, it was like, I think this is when I'm going to start going up and up and up and up, and I did.
So how many fights did you have up to that point?
I think I've had 10 since coming back from lockdown.
And were they with headshots as well, or was it just...
Yeah, I came back from lockdown, I think one body shot fight. After you've done headshots, body shots don't really feel right. So yeah, when you get punched in the face, you love it anyway. So after I went into headshots, it was normal.
And have you ever fought with elbows?
I did once when I went to France. I fought a good opponent, Alec Bossier, and he was a strong fighter, big in Thailand as well. So it was a good experience.
Yeah.
I lost, but it was just worth going to France and experiencing it all, fighting the best. And obviously, sometimes the decision don't go your way.
Do you remember after your first fight how you felt in terms of your nerves? Was it just more like excitement rather than anything?
I feel like because I was so young, it was like, I get to do it, to go in the ring, and I get to experience. Now it's not all just watch a bit of WWE or a bit of John Wayne Parr and stuff like that. It was like I can actually do it, so I kind of was excited for it. And then afterwards, after the fight, I was like, when can I go again? And I think it was a good idea that I fought in the open tournament to start off with, because I had 3 different fights and I was so excited after each one. So the next fights was like, you're only fighting once, and then
felt a lot easier. Yeah. So what does your training schedule feel like now? Because obviously now you're starting to fight at a higher level. You've got all these belts, and from speaking with your dad, there's not many people out there that's left for you to fight. So sometimes you're forced to like fight people who are older than you and heavier than you. And I know you've been training with Emir. Obviously, he's a legend in the game. Just talk to me about a typical training day when you're deep in the camp. So when you have a fight coming up.
Well, for this one, I've done it a lot different to the usual camps. I'll go running, I do the usual, but for this one, I took it seriously. I went over to Luton with my coach, stayed over there for 2 weeks and trained absolutely every day, like 3 to 2 times a day, every day, and I feel like that changed a little bit from what I'd usually do, because it made me feel a little bit stronger for this fight coming up on Saturday.
And are you surrounded by fighters all the time?
Yeah, 100 all the time. So I was with Amir, I was with my coach. I was living with my coach, so every day I was with him.
What's his name?
Matt Anderson.
The guy give Matt Anderson a shout. So you're living at his house at the moment?
Yeah, I was living at his house for 2 weeks, and obviously I didn't see my family for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was I missed them obviously, but it drove me a little bit more. I trained a little bit harder, sprinted a little bit faster, and worked hard.
You feel like the focus is a lot more stronger than your previous fights, because you're obviously surrounded by people with the same mission.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you train with on day in and day out? Obviously, I'm assuming you have like a couple of training partners, but is there someone that's like your main training partner that you train with?
I got a big training partner, Freddie. Obviously, I've told you about him. I fought him, and then we're brothers now. So I train with Freddie Fisher, who I've told you about before. Fought him. So it's good to train with him a lot. So I see him every Saturday usually, training with him, sparring with him, and at the start of camp, obviously we have a hard spar, and it's good to work with someone on the same level. So yeah, that's good.
And what does he weigh out?
Freddie's just a category above me, 54 kg plus.
So the fight that you're having on Saturday, do you have to cut any weight for it, or are you pretty much on weight?
I usually fight at 50 kg, so the 52 is not that hard. So I usually walk around at 53, 54.
Yeah.
But obviously, being with Amir, he feeds. So obviously the weight cut, we just cut a little bit now and then.
What does the training entail? So you said you're training all the time. Are you focusing more on kickboxing? Do you do a lot more cardiovascular stuff? Do you do strength and conditioning?
Mixture of all. So obviously I go down to the gym, do a little bit of gym work, running every day. So my cardio is at a good level. And then I obviously do kickboxing classes later in the day. Sometimes in the morning I do pad work and stuff like that. So it's just a mixture of all, to be honest.
And do you get to go on the pads with Amir quite often?
Yeah.
Because I know he has an army of fighters.
Yeah.
So it might be difficult trying to get his attention. But I'm assuming because obviously you have a fight coming up and the level that you fight at, you get the attention you deserve.
Yeah, Amir's an amazing coach. I mean, he looks after every single one of his fighters. So when he's got time, obviously he's a busy man. So when he's got time, he looks after everyone. I was on a pads with him on Saturday, and not only does he hold pad, he obviously speaks with you and stuff like that, shows you what will work. So I do get quite a lot of time from Amir as well. So which is good.
I mean, he's really experienced in the game as well. So it's not so much about the physical side of things. Sometimes about the mental side of things as well. I'm certain he knows how to prepare an individual for war, and ultimately that's what it is when you're going in there. So how many rounds is this fight going to be, and is it for a belt?
This is for the Super Fight Series world title, but this is a different category, so obviously I've gone up a category to the 50 to 52.
So you're going to be double champ anyway.
Yep. So that was at the 48 kg.
Yeah.
And now I'm fighting for the 52. So so it's the same title.
Is that going to be 5 rounds of 2 minutes?
5 2-minute rounds, yeah.
Nice. And how do you feel about it?
My cardio's not the worst. I mean, my last fight for the Oscar, my cardio was perfect. I mean, it's meant to be 5 rounds, but the opponent wanted to do 3. Okay. So my cardio was fine after 3 2 minutes. And I've been training like crazy for the past 2 weeks. So.
And do you know much about this opponent?
Yeah, he's a Hungarian opponent. He fought one of my old opponents, Stevie Weldrake. He fought him, and Stevie beat him.
Without giving too much away, though, you do have a game plan on mind on how to beat.
100%.
Yeah, and you're ready to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So obviously, if you win this fight, it almost feels like to me you're kind of like running out of options because you've kind of beaten everybody. Is there anybody in mind that you want to fight after this fight? Someone that's like your goal?
I'm looking for some opponents, like anyone holding the Oscar titles. I'm coming for every single one of them. And
do you have a goal in mind on at what age you want to turn pro, so take the shin pads off, take the head guards off, and go full out?
As soon as I can.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I can't wait because, like I said, I just love the fight. And with padding and stuff like that, it don't feel... Well, obviously you get the feel anyways, you're fighting like that. But like I said, when I took the body pad off and stuff, it feels real after a little bit.
Yeah. So do you know, with having all these belts and all these accolades and everybody knowing that Tyler is the man, especially at your weight class, at your age, do you feel like you always have like a target on your back? Do you ever get called out by fighters?
No,
Or
but I want them to.
Is it the opposite?
Yeah, I want them to. Like I said, I want to fight everyone. So at the minute, there's not many opponents that are coming out that I really know much of on my at my weight and age. But yeah, I'm wanting more opponents and more titles and more wins and more fights.
So with fighting on Super Fight Series again, because you've obviously fought on that show quite a few times. The last time I saw you fight on that show, it was an absolute scrap. I felt like you dominated, but the kid came to fight.
Yeah.
And those are the type of performances you need really, because you're taking that as an experience and you're applying it to your next fight. Being in Luton a lot more often than you have before, do you get a sense of it's almost like a homecoming when you fight in Luton? It's almost like you're fighting in Sheffield.
Yeah. I feel like Super Fight Series is the home show. So yeah, and me and all my training partners that I train with throughout is obviously fighting on the show, and they'll be there, and so yeah, it does feel like a home show. Yeah,
the other thing that we skipped over a little bit is because you obviously sound like you've been in a gym basically your whole life.
Yeah.
But what made you like the sport? What made you want to do this? Because the way I got into the sport is I was watching Eurosports. You probably remember Eurosports. Yeah, when they were playing, it was like Bonyansky fights and all that. Like Peter S. and Masato Wakao. I was watching that on TV.
Remy's got hold of you, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, Remy actually sent, I think it was a message over on Instagram, and he was saying, obviously, that the next big thing and stuff like this, and then he sent me this Glory link so I could watch Glory and stuff.
How do you feel about that? That's amazing, because Bonyansky is one of the reasons why I actually got into the sport.
Yeah. Well, I got into the sport because obviously my dad was doing a little bit.
Yeah.
My brother was doing a little bit down at Twin Tigers.
Yeah.
In Dorset, and then we moved up when it started to get serious. I was around 6ish, and my dad he put his work into me. And my dad was running the gym, and now he still runs the gym, Outcast Academy. So I've been at the gym every single day.
Yeah, it's almost like second nature for you.
Yeah, so I know the routine now, so I feel like it's been built into my day in the life anyway.
It's like when you wake up, you gotta brush your teeth.
Yeah.
You wake up, you gotta train. It's like second nature.
Exactly.
So, did you have anyone in the local stages, or even just at the higher level, that you kind of looked up to and you wanted to be like, or perhaps you still do and you want to be like, because you're still very young. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, Glory is good. There's loads of fights in the Glory kickboxing. Yeah, and the One and stuff like that. So there's loads of different fighters that I took styles out of.
Yeah.
And built through that. So, I mean, there's no one in mind particularly, but there's loads that helped me on the come up just to be a little bit like them, and then get better than them, and then be better and just keep working towards them levels.
And what's your ultimate goal in the sport?
My goal is take over.
Because you can't say win world championships. You've already done that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's got to be bigger than that, right?
So get to the one.
Yeah.
The big leagues. They also pay good as well, don't they?
Yeah. So who manages your career in terms of matchmaking and kind of telling you when to rest, when to get back on a horse, that type of thing? It's all Amir now.
Yeah, Amir. Amir looks after me. Obviously, my dad.
But your dad's always going to be involved, right?
He's always there. But yeah, man, obviously I do one-to-ones and stuff. And Amir just gives me the best advice. I fought in Scotland not that long ago. Yeah. Fought a good Scottish kid, but I stopped him with a head kick.
I saw that. That was a nice head kick.
Yeah.
Was that early on as well?
That was I think it was 30 seconds into the first round. So I gave him an 8 count, and then he got up, and then I hit him with a head kick, and I watched it as I hit, his head went up and his eyes rolled, and it was like, to me, that was the first knockout. So it felt good to have that, especially in their hometown, on his home show. It felt good. With the training that I've been doing and stuff like that, the knockouts, they're going to come. They're going to come without a doubt. A lot more kids will be getting knocked out in the future.
What's your main focus in training?
Work hard, look after myself, family, just working hard, to be honest. I just want that goal, and when you want a goal, you got to chase it hard. So I don't really take any easy way outs of training or anything like that. Just train 100%. I'm very strict on the diet because obviously I'm cutting a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I love my food.
Yeah.
Love my food.
What's your weakness? What's your kryptonite? Sweets, chocolates?
It's sweet food.
Yeah.
Donuts, stuff like that. I love them.
Yeah. But you gotta stay away from them.
Yep. And then afterwards, once I've refueled, I love the fact that I can eat whatever I want afterwards. Well, I've got a very motivational camp around me. I mean, I've got a very nice coach, Matt Anderson, who I've been staying with, Rhino, and we bounce off each other. So when he's telling me like it's your time, I'm like, he gets proper pumped up. And then so before, get ready. Obviously the usual, get everyone ready, zone into magnanimous, and which is great soul, means great soul. So I zone
I was going to actually ask you about that. I'm glad that you clarified.
Yeah, I zone into my alter ego, magnanimous, and then just fight. I love the walkout. I love it all. It's a good performance as well.
Excellent. So if you could tell me a little bit about your best performance and your worst performance, because I would like to hear on both sides and how they made you feel. We'll start with a bad one. Let's get a bad one out of the way. Is there any performance that you look back and think, I wish I could run that one back and do better?
The ones that I don't listen to them, yeah.
Yeah,
the ones where I struggle to listen. But like the last one, fought for the Oscar, weren't my best performance. I cleared one, but the ones that you don't listen.
How did you feel that? Was it just you couldn't follow instructions on that fight?
Yeah, well, I was struggling because the ring was small. The opponent was a lot different to what we was thinking. We was thinking he was going to be big, tall, muscly, but he was smaller than me. So yeah, it was new to fight someone smaller. But we got the win, so it counts.
Was he angry with you after?
Yeah, Amir always tells you like afterwards, he done good, but he should have listened. And I don't see where he's wrong.
No, I mean,
you wouldn't want to listen to me.
You don't want to be questioning him.
No.
You know. What do you think was your best performance? Because I saw you fight in Legacy. That's the last time I think I was ringside watching you fight when you fought Max Cooper from Pride, and that was a great fight. I wouldn't
say it was my best because in the fight, obviously, it was more like just a barn out brawl.
Yeah.
We was just fighting.
Do you feel like you made that fight a lot more harder for yourself?
Yeah. I feel like we both did. We both went for an absolute war in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So it was good for the fans to watch. I mean, it was close to home as well, which no one's really used to. So we were both bloody. Well, I broke my hand in the second round, I think it was. Broke my thumb. And I was just crossing and jabbing.
Was it really painful in the fight?
Yeah. Well, afterwards.
Did you know you broke the?
Yeah, I knew it. I think it was from he kneed my hand and he kneed it upwards, not my thumb in. So that was painful, but you got through it, kept battling, and then it got to after the fight, and obviously the adrenaline's gone down. It starts to hit you afterwards.
But that wasn't your best performance.
I wouldn't say it was my best performance.
Do you think you'll ever rematch, Max? Because I know you guys have been training a little bit together.
Yeah, we
I'm just trying to shit stick.
No, we did a little.
Only because I love that fight so much. I mean, I would want to.
It was a good fight. It was a good fight. I mean, I'm up for any fight as long as it's getting me the right way forwards.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a clear path of where you want to go, and as long as it makes sense, you take it, right? Because it's not about being personal or nothing. It's a sport at the end of the day. So, talk to me about your best performance then.
My best performance was probably the Scotland fight. I mean, it didn't have much to work with. It was quick, but I feel like we executed the plan really well. We was in changing rooms all night because it was a late fight. I fought at 11 o'clock at night. So
that's annoying, waiting around the whole.
So obviously we were sat eating and talking about the fight. And when I went in there, I was movement, make a miss, and hit hard. So I feel like that was probably one of my best fights. There's loads of good fights that I've had, but I'm just glad, to be fair, just glad to have a lot more than just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is your best attribute as a fighter?
I'm blessed with the hands. I'm blessed with the hands and power, speed. But I'd probably say my hands and my knees are powerful. But I try to make everything just as good as each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, and probably the pace and the pressure.
It's high pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. High volume, high pace, pressure. Yeah. That's the way to in fights, really,
Mm-hmm.
because especially the level of fires that are coming up around your age now is just very high, because the whole sport has evolved. Like even Thai boxers started to move like kickboxers started to kick like Thai boxers. It's almost like merging into one unique style.
Yeah.
What's your favorite technique?
My favorite technique is probably coming off the long guard. Coming off the long guard, making a miss and just hitting clean. But yeah, probably the long guard, because you find your distance.
Do you drill that a lot?
I drill that a lot. And then the landing the knees.
Do you find it a little bit irritating now that you can't clinch for too long and land too many knees? Or do you prefer that?
I prefer it.
Yeah.
I prefer the fact that you're not grabbing 24/7. There's kind of, in Thai boxing, there's kind of a couple ways out. You know, like you can land the T when you're just sat there, or you can clinch, land the knees. So so I kind of like the fact that I can't really, like you said, it's, I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I think about, training, last thing I think about when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm working at the gym, looking after all the young kids, bringing them up. So that's good to work with other people, not only just focusing on myself all the time. So I feel like that's good. Obviously, my little sister Holly, she's going into the game now, so she's kind of growing to the same kind of mindset I did.
How old is she?
She's 13 now, just turned 13 in December.
Yeah, she must be looking up to you a lot.
Yeah. I trained with her, trained her on the come up, so she's kind of getting to the age where her mindset is switching to the right way.
Yeah, and do you have any classes that you take?
Yeah, I take the Outcast minis, the juniors, and when I was over in Luton for 2 weeks, I was taking over the Storm classes, the younger classes.
And do you enjoy coaching as well?
I love coaching. I love the fact that I can not only build people to become world champion, because that's not what everyone wants. I love the fact there's a lot of challenges that people go through, and the fact that I can teach them and make them smile, make them happy. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it's less. Sometimes it's less about the actual physical side of things with training. There's more to do with changing people's lives and giving them that sense of community and confidence. So is that something you want to really get involved in the future? Because being in a sport for so long and basically being born in the gym is going to make it very difficult for you to just one day step away from it when you start fighting. So have you ever had any thoughts towards that? Do you want to eventually start coaching, maybe have your own gym and just give back? Because it'll be a shame for you to not do that with all the skills and all the experience that you would have gained by then, especially.
Oh, 100%. I would, because obviously when I don't want to retire on the low, or not as big as I want to go, like the one championship. A lot of people will be looking up to me anyway. So that just knowing that he owns his own gym or something like that will be good. I mean, I'll hopefully be taking over the Outcast as I get a bit older, working with my dad. I mean, you learn a lot from when you're teaching it anyway. It's like when you say you throw a leg kick, you stop yourself in between, you think, if I step this way a little bit more and I show them a little bit more, it makes you think that, that's
and you can
perfect
start like innovating things as well. You're going to find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you're going to start being more familiarized with like different styles and different attributes that other fighters have, and you just become more like a sports analyst. You know, when you have fighters yourself, you'll be able to break down the techniques and their game plan a lot easier. So it's great for me to know that that's one thing that you're looking forward to do in the future, because like I said, with the experience and the amount of time you spent in the sport already and the amount of time you're going to be in it by the time you're ready to take over, it's just going to be great for anyone that will train with you, and because obviously of your experience and whatnot. So do you also have like short-term goals? So what's your goal for this year? What do you want to have achieved by the end of this year?
The Oscars.
The
Oscars, yeah. I'm coming, hopefully, working the way up to the Oscar Worlds.
Are you looking to defend this one?
Yeah. Looking for them all. So anyone wants to challenge that one, feel free. Isn't really a name yet, but yeah, Muay Thai Grand Prix, I think it's in October.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
So hopefully fighting on that, and it's, I think, no head guard either.
Nice.
which is exciting.
Do you have a goal in mind on when you want to turn pro?
Soon as possible.
Yeah.
16, 17, 18, them kind of ages will be when I turn pro. And I reckon that'll be where I just go straight up.
But what people always tell me about you is the fact that you're really level-headed. You know, you're calm, collected, and your heart and your head is in the right places. And I always say to people, when you have those things intact, you're bound to go to the places you want to get to, because that's kind of like the driving force for many people. And from the little posts, I might just be assuming here, but from the little posts and things that I've seen, it seems that you're quite religious. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about your faith. How does that help you? How does that help you with the goals that you want to achieve in your day-to-day life?
Well, it's good to know, like, that walking around, you know, you're not alone. Got a cross on now, actually.
You always got a cross on as well.
So yeah, it's good to know, and it kind of helps me, you know, like with my alter ego, like I said, it kind of helps me build, like before the fight. Obviously, I take a second of prayer, like Tyson Fury, like most of the big fighters do. But yeah, it's good to know that, you know, you got someone with you, and a lot of people that do obviously have religion and stuff when they're fighting. It helps build themselves, especially mentally as well.
Yeah, well, I was speaking to a guy called Umar Khan. He's a very top level MMA fighter in the UK. And he's very religious, he's Muslim, and he was telling me that every time he fights, he does a prayer and then he goes into war. But the nerves around the result is almost like non-existent, because he believes that whatever's supposed to happen for you will happen for you. And God is like the greatest planner. Even when you think you're planning something great, it might not go the way you want it to go to. So that must be really helpful, because you kind of just trust in something that's higher than you, that's bigger than you, and you're not really adding all that pressure on yourself. Because, you know, when you lose, sometimes it could be very daunting, because you tend to just blame yourself, or you start blaming others around you, even if it's not true. But, you know, when you believe in God, when you believe in something that's higher than you, it's almost like that doesn't matter, because the result was supposed to be the result. It's not
God's
supposed
always
to,
got a plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to go the right way. And that's really nice for me to see, because it's kind of rare to see someone this young, you know, being really clear with their goals and where they want to get to. And obviously that's a testament to the people around you and yourself as well. What I want to do now, because we spoke about your career, we spoke a little bit about yourself, and this is probably not going to be the first time you're going to come on. So the next time you come on, I want to make it a little bit more personal, because I want to know a lot more about your upbringing, and get into your psyche a little bit more. But I think it's your fight week, and you're in the mindset of kill, so I don't want to take you away from there. But what I want to do is, I have a bunch of random questions on my book, and I want to go through each one just to open up the conversation a little bit, so we're not just sticking to fighting a little bit. It might be a little bit light-hearted or whatnot. So try to make the answers, try and elaborate on the answers, because it'll just be interesting for myself and for everyone watching as well. So my first question on my list, this is the one that I ask everybody to start with. Name one celebrity that you would like to punch in the face.
One celebrity that I'd like to punch in the face.
Or maybe a kick in the head with your shit.
One celebrity I like to punch in the face.
Well, I feel like you're too much of a nice guy, even though you're a killer. Like
there's a few that I think everyone would love to punch in the face, wouldn't they? Yeah, not a clue.
Paul's.
Who?
You don't really accept Jake Paul. Everyone was.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, the Paul brother.
The YouTubers. I'd love to punch the YouTubers in the face and make a little bit of money out of it as well.
KSI,
any of them.
He's got like the weirdest laugh. Yeah, he needs to get punched just for that laugh, don't he?
Yeah, all these YouTube boxers, I'd love to punch him in the face.
Yeah. Okay, so name one celebrity or someone that you've not met that you like to meet and go to dinner with.
Conor McGregor.
Hmm.
I love how he talks, how he motivates himself. Yeah, so probably Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on one of these. It was like an interview sort of thing, and they also had Conor McGregor on the same kind of scene.
Nice.
And they were saying, "Oh, the mini Conor McGregor and all this," but yeah, probably Conor McGregor. I like his motivation. It'd be good to train with him as well.
And is he someone that you look up to as well?
Yeah, kind of. I like Conor McGregor, and he sells tickets as well.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to watch him, whether you hate him or love him.
Yeah, it's like Mayweather a little bit, innit?
Yeah.
Mm. Your favorite fighter of all time?
My favorite fighter of all time, Ramadekers.
Your favorite place to visit? Maybe somewhere you've not even been that you just like to visit.
Bosnia with Amir.
Nice. Has he told you many stories about it?
Yeah, too many stories about it. I love it.
And the last one before we wrap it up, do you think dad is proud of you? Do you think your dad is proud of you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I do think he's proud of me. Because he used to say to me all the time, and he still does, you put the work in, so will I. So I feel like that's what kind of driven me as well. The fact that if I don't work hard, then I'm going to miss out.
The main thing for him, from my perspective, is for him to just give you the best opportunities that you could get, and then it's totally up to you to do what you do with that. And it's obviously he'll have information from his experience that he's going to pass on to you, and again, it's up to you what you do with that information. So I think just lastly, it'll be very important for you to never forget the people around you, because again, without them, you would not go to where you want to go to, and you might not think about it on a daily basis, but the kid who's not able to get to the gym because their parent is not as involved, they don't have a car, they don't have the money to get to the gym or whatnot, they'll feel that every day.
Yeah.
But it might be difficult for you to feel that because your dad is always there. So I say all that to say that you already are, because obviously you're religious, so that's part of the religion is always reminding us to just be grateful.
Yeah.
So just be grateful, stay humble, do what you need to do, and I'm certain you're going to be a one championship world champion at some point. And if it's not that, who knows, you might end up in the UFC if you do some MMA or some shit. But basically what I'm saying to you is that the sky is the limit for you, and if you continue to do the training, keep your head on your shoulders, follow Amir's advice, listen to your dad, you are absolutely going to get to the places that you want to get to. And it's genuinely been an honor for me to have this conversation with you, and I'm so glad you came down, and I hope we could do this again, maybe after you win a couple of more belts. You know, we can change these around, bring some more on the table.
That will be the world's, and that will be the next super fight series.
That's the plan. But thank you so much, Sal. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Man, that was great, and I need one of those t-shirts, mate, so I can
I'll get you one.
Yeah.